Good morning, friends. Again, I welcome you in the field of motivation. Right now, you see toward that on the television, a lot of discussion is there. Not discussion, it is hot discussion. About UCC. UCC, what does it mean? Uniform Civil Code. Code, you can see here. Not to speak of that, it is really supposed to be mentioned in the pages of Indian Constitution. Let there be single system of law in entire country with almost all the people as a whole. I do not deny it, but one thing is there. Do you think it or that only this application will do? What about the application among the persons who are just having leadership? You take the example, for the post of a peon, certain qualification is there. For the post of leadership, for the post of minister, for the post of top leader, you can say it over that. Is there any education? No. The country in the hand of which we are likely to just support, you can say, likely to just surrender, likely to give. Don't you think it over that if the person is not capable, if the person is not intelligent, if the person is not, you can say it over that, fit for the post, what will be the scenario of the country of ours, you can say? What about the condition of the people living in India will be there? Not to speak of India, this is applicable to entire world as a whole, you can say. Don't you think it or that the person who doesn't labor much, the person who labors struggles too much and actually becomes just competent in the field of civil services and is posted particularly in the field of high power chair, even then this happens to be so that person has to actually take the file and just move behind the very persons who are not educated but public has elected. He doesn't know even what the thing is actually basic one, even then you can say to that person is actually running up to the thing. Is it the real system? When we look over at 5 fingers, are they equal? No, they are not equal, you can say to that. When almost all the persons will be equal, I don't think it about that there will be any type of development. Nobody will be actually trying their level best to do any sort of thing. Sometimes some person actually is at the top, sometimes some person is at the bottom, we can see here. Bottom makes a dream, but to reach to the top. When the person reaches to the top, they do not actually want to come to the down, you can see here. The question here is that certain modus operandi, certain thing is to be adopted in the life, otherwise whatever decision we take, maybe some person will be benefited, but maybe other person will not be benefited at all, you can see here. Here, India, a country where you can say about that ethnic races are there. You cannot say about that like Englishman. When you go to certain country, you will finding it about that. There is Mongol a kind of appearance getting there. Nose to be really supposed to be flattened, one just short-heighted. You can say it about the Nepalese are there. Maybe person belonging to Korean country, maybe the person belonging to Japan, maybe the person belonging to China. Maybe in some of the part of our country, maybe northeast, you can say it about that. Those people are looking like that. They are the Mongols, no question. After that you look at the Aryans. After that you look at the Dravids. Very blackish person, tall you can see here, or just you can say it about that getting too much energy. So there, look, there are difference. There, everything is actually, you can say, quite different. Even then, when you just go to different country, they are getting unity. Unity in the sense their outlook is the same. But when a person comes to India, there is the mixture of almost all the races you can see here. This is a mixed climate. Not to speak of that, mixed people are there, mixed castes are there. In that case, it is very difficult to make it to be really supposed to separate it here. Despite a lot of religions are there, a lot of languages are there, a lot of thoughts are there. And these are to be really supposed to be a kind of jewel. Jewel in the what? Jewel, you can say to that unity in diversity, you can say here. Okay, this is the thing. Now the question here is that somebody actually makes the child marriages, somebody makes the adult marriages, and somebody actually makes, you can say it out that even baby marriages like that. Those things in the past was actually prevalent and available, but right now it is not available, it is actually gone and just decimated like that. Now one question there in the name of religion, you can see here. Somebody is actually entitled to take only one marriage with a girl, or somebody is entitled to get 4 marriages with a girl. This is a kind of, you can say that gap is there. Maybe this is to be cemented. But before cementing this much of thing, many a sort of thing is to be discussed and actually rectified there. In the school, you find it over there is the uniform. Uniform makes uniformity. All the persons may be rich and poor, maybe mediocre, maybe you can say lower middle class, maybe just you can say middle class, whatsoever things are there, they must look like one. Can't it be so? When you just go to the offices, Whatsoever things are there, you must look like that. Look, we can say to her that maybe some sort of bifurcation is there, maybe some sort of order is there. A person is actually somehow getting the position of boss, a person is getting the position of CEO, whatsoever things are there. Their uniform is different, you can see here, maybe different or maybe made level different. When the question of education is there, let me quote my own example, you can see here. I got my son to be just actually selected in DPS. Again, when my idea came in DPS, basically the persons who belong to rich class, their kids are actually reading there. If the person belonging to lower middle class or maybe poor one, they will be getting a kind of, you can say to that inferiority complex because of the region. They will come in the car, they will spend a lot of money, and the poor person will follow them. Keeping that thing view, I had to give my son in Kendriya Vidyalaya because Kendriya Vidyalaya is mixture of the entire thing. Poor are there, rich is there, even you can say to that mediocre is there. A kind of cementation is there, a kind of equalization is there, a kind of uniformity is there. But basic thing here is that the persons who are making the laws, the persons who are making acts, among that there must be a kind of act that decide what should be the qualification of a leader to contest election, become minister, become prime minister, whatsoever things are there. There must be some modus operandi. And many a time this happens to be so. This person belonging to lower classes, they are deprived. The persons who are actually coming to our classes, maybe doing nothing at all, but even then they are getting a lot of privileges here. Will it bring uniformity? If uniformity comes, will not be there a kind of, you can say to her that bitterness, a kind of desperity, a kind of, you can say to her that thing the person doesn't agree. If agreed by force, but not by heart, you can see here. But anything if done, certainly it must emanate from the heart. Heart from whom? The people who belong to the country, the people who belong to the world. Not only handful of the person taking the decision and imposing the very thing on the mind of the person as a whole. My dear friend, you must think it over that our basic need is there, the person who is at the top, the persons along whom or just behind whom a lot of persons actually follow. That person must be bound with some modus operandi, with some system of education, how much education they must have. This much. Thank you very much.